know, Plague's a sweetheart. Like at
She
the end of the
is.
day, she's the hero.
Which is kind of honestly, I had a hard time thinking about like how anybody would really die. I don't know if you thought about scenarios at all. For me, it started off with who's least likely to wear a mask.
Okay, so let's do our Plague. We can
Okay,
determine all of our details.
cool, cool.
Um, so hello everybody, welcome to our Dead Talk. Today we have the Plague, our lovely Adiris. Um, so for some reason, like her family had 7 kids, and for some reason they took the 5-year-old and punted her out of the family. I'm like,
She
why?
was
Why did
the
they?
the youngest. They were already attached to the others.
We don't know that yet.
Oh no.
Anyway, they dumped her off at the Temple of Creation, and this guy that was there, one of the priests, Haban, ended up taking her in. It was like, here's their gods, here's the goat that you should worship. We like to kill people for our gods. They really appreciate that shit. So she stays there. She actually like gets on board with the entire religion. She starts helping out. She cleans stuff up. She helps scrub the floors after they sacrifice somebody. Like she does all that stuff. And like there was actually one time when she was at I think it was her first sacrifice that she actually got to like participate in. They do chanting pretty much until their voices are raw while they're getting ready to shank the guy. And the guy was like, "Help me, please, God, somebody help me." And she felt so bad for him because she was like, "This is gonna hurt like a mother." And she was like, "But you know what? Love is pain. We love you. The gods love you. So I guess we love you most because you're gonna die." So she went over and she just like gave him a little kiss on the head, and then they shanked him. And she threw up a little bit in her mouth because it was like so gory and there was vertebrae sticking out of his body. Uh, so first mention of vomit. Anyway, so she ended up getting like a little bit farther up the chain. She starts helping out the high priest with all of their shit, and then the plague decides to roll in. So the priests are doing all these purification rituals, and then they start getting sick. And she's just like, well, fuck, I guess it's my job now. So she goes ahead. Oh, wait, I forgot. We didn't talk about what happened to Haban.
Yeah,
Haban was like, hey, so that guy that we shanked was a friend of mine, and I really think that maybe killing people might not be the answer. And she was like, what blasphemous bullshit is this? And he was like, look, just take a second, go think about it. We'll talk again. He also did a real fuck move on the games. Like he beat her and he was like, well, I guess it was ordained by the gods. Ha ha ha. And it was like, oh, you fucker.
wait, he beat her?
Anyway, I think he did. Doesn't
I
matter.
she like
Doesn't
flogged herself at one point.
well that's later on down the line.
Okay.
So anyway, she actually goes to a ritual where they're like, hey, have you seen any shit go down lately? And she's thinking to herself, I sure have seen shit go down lately. Like, my my adoptive father has been blaspheming all over the goddamn place. But she's like, no, I haven't seen anything. And they're like looking at her like she must like be a horrible liar because they're like, I don't know, that's pretty sus. But they let it go, and she feels super bad. So they meet up again, and he's like, listen, if you could just like go do some praying, if you hear an answer, great, you're good to go. But if you don't, I'm right. Let's get out of here and not participate in this shit anymore. So Dearest is like, okay, fair enough. She goes back to her room and she starts doing like an all nighter on prayer. And she hears nothing. And she was like absolutely heartbroken. And she was getting ready to just like throw in the towel when the entity's just like, hey, baby. So she's like, fuck, we were right. I'm so sorry. So she beats her own ass, just starts flogging the shit out of herself. And then she's like, okay, I need to make this up. So she goes and gets the maiden guard outfit and the censer, and she goes and she meets up with Haban. And she's like, she's got it all covered up. And so when she sees Haban, she gives him a little kiss. And then she gouges his fucking eyes out and beats him to death with a censer until he lit on fire. I mean, she cried a little bit. She felt kind of bad, but at the end of the day, you know, It is what it
You
is.
gotta do what you gotta do against a blasphemer.
Exactly. So anyway, back to the whole plague part I got went off on a tangent. So when the plague came, everybody got sick. She had to take over the whole operation. So she goes to the high priest quarters and she actually finds the statue of a lady, and she's just like covered in gold. She's got a really neat outfit. And Plague's like, this is a fucking sign. This shit is exactly my size. And goes ahead and puts everything on. And she goes out. So she starts doing her first ritual. And at the back, a lady just straight up just faints. So she's like, fuck, I gotta go help this lady. So she goes over there and she checks on her, and her foot is like completely blackened. And she's like, I know what I gotta do. And she cuts her own fucking toe off and sacrifices it to the gods in exchange for protecting her. And everybody's just like, this bitch is our priestess now. Like, they were 100% behind her at that point. Um, so she ends up taking up the whole ordeal. She's doing all the purification rituals. She developed a posse, just people that were like following around, helping out. And eventually she got sick. But she's like, it's okay, the gods are gonna take care of me. And so she ended up just like, the censer was kind of used to cover up the decaying smell. And then she wore a veil over her face because her face was getting all nasty from the plague. And eventually she couldn't stay there anymore. Like, it was getting to the point where she was like, there's no denying it. I'm dying for this. Like, I need to leave the city. So she banned herself from her city and left. And a bunch of her followers stayed with her. And that one foot that she cut a toe off of, that got real nasty real quick. And eventually she couldn't walk because she was just too sick and her foot was all swollen. So they pull over to a cave and they start camping there, and all of her followers are sick with the plague at that point. And she's like, we're not gonna fucking make it. So she starts praying, and the entity's like, I can work with this. So she ends up like praying and taking a deal with the entity, uh, assuming like, hey, if you save my people from the plague, I'm your bitch. And the entity was like, alrighty, and took her away. And then she went to the fog, and you know, we're all alive now because of the dearest. That's what we got. Did I miss anything?
Just a sad moment before Haban died. So after she flogged herself, her back was obviously destroyed and
Yeah.
cut open, scabs everywhere. He was actually like cleaning off her wounds at one point. Like, she was just so out of it from all the pain and blood loss that she like woke up and he just had like a wet cloth and was like wiping her back down, taking care of her still. And then she went and killed him.
Yep.
Which makes me wonder, does she consider every like, obviously those whispers that she heard was the entity, not like her god. So does she think the entity is her god?
Yes.
So she's just constantly making like, I know it's always called sacrifices. She's the one who's actually making sacrifices to her god, though.
Yeah.
I love it.
You literally got to go and hang out with her god for the rest of her afterlife.
That's amazing. Good for her.
Yeah, she got a happy ending. The
When
entity's like, go kill those blasphemers, and she's just like, aye, aye, Captain. I do want to take a moment because when Trickster came out, people were like, hey, it's the first time one of the killers ever talked. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Have you not played Plague like ever? Because she's chanting the whole time. And then
Mhm.
if you drop a pallet on you, she's like, I don't know what the fuck she's saying, but I assume it's like, go fuck yourself. But it's like, I was just so mad when they're like, oh yeah, Trickster's the first one to ever talk. It's like, no, bullshit.
Almavox says even the devs forgot, to be fair.
I don't know what the problem is. Bomby Mommy's the best.
She is great. I love, people are bitching about the new palette change with the stun validation, which is honestly great in my opinion. Everybody keeps getting mad about it, and I'm like, have you not been playing Plague this whole time? Because the amount of times I will vomit straight on somebody. They cough and spew and then aren't infected. That's what it is. It's just like, on my side they were there, but on their side they weren't standing there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's fucking infuriating.
during the 5th anniversary is one of the tidbits there. Wait, that Trickster is the first to talk?
Yeah, I saw it on
That's...
like on one of the frames, and I was like, "You bitch!"
Maybe they meant in a modern language?
I don't
Because...
know. I think they just forgot her.
Oh...
Because I mean, we know that since all of her followers like they got brought with her, if you hear like multiple voices, then it's like all of them. But
Oh, like, so when she's powered up,
yeah,
those whispers that you hear?
yeah. If it sounds like multiple voices at any point, that's all of them. That's the combined chanting.
I love it.
So,
Like, is your second favorite killer? She's, I think, our number one.
oh yeah, 100%.
She was the first DLC that I bought.
Yeah, I actually got her because of you. Because you're like, this is amazing. And I'm like, I want that. So I got her. And I was like, this is amazing.
Oh yeah, because I was literally streaming to Discord so you could watch, and I was just like, look at this, she's great.
Little did you know, I was just watching so I could hear. I love her inhale sound. I don't know why. Like, I don't like the rest of it. Like the swallowing noise and the actual vomiting, I'm just like, okay, I could do without that. But it's that inhale noise. I don't know why, but like every part of my brain's just happy.
Just buzzes, just bzzz.
It's like, what a sound. Give me more.
You got accused of smurfing with her yesterday.
How do you even smurf in DBD? It's like you just don't play killer for a while and eventually you'll just degrade to the point where it's just you don't it's
Yeah, if Alex goes back to playing killer, he'd be a smurf.
oh yeah. Like he's but it's still like it's not like you're going off and creating a new account so you can purposely go after low levels. It's just like the game is naturally degrading your ass.
You're right.
Like you don't blame the killer for smurfing, blame the game because it's their fault that you're in this position right now.
What he said, he assumed you made a new account. That's hilarious.
Wow.
Love it.
Plague is usually the only killer that I'll actually 4K on. Like I get a little mean with Plague sometimes. Like the one time I was really hungry and I slugged all 4 people and I knew I couldn't get them all to the gate. So I just kept walking them back and I let them all die to the sacrifice at the end. And Alex was watching us. He's like, holy shit, eat a Snickers, bitch. he felt so bad he made me food. And I was like, how about you put the controller down for a second and eat first?
That's hilarious.
This is the only time I ever did that was when I was super hungry. Like I have never done that again after, but like I was just rage hungry.
So when you get hungry, you play like a twins main.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could tell you're not proud of yourself.
No, I am not.
During the May or June reset, you got bumped from 13 to 20. Oh, God. Oh, you got hit by rank roulette. We didn't get hit by rank roulette. We were both in red rank, and we were like, yeah, this is our chance to get back to, like, purple and green. I got stuck. Hi, Panda.
I think I just, like, I haven't been moving up as much because I've been doing, like, more totem work, but now that I'm, like, pairing that with, was it Counterforce with small games, so I'm actually, like, I'm rolling through it much faster, and I just went back into red ranks again. I'm just tired of this no-ed Bloodborne bullshit.
Go, please. Go.
So,
God, I hate...
my thoughts on how people were going to be getting sick was, like, the natural way.
The natural way, what?
You catch it from each other, like, literally like Plague's power. Like, you touch an infected surface,
Uh-huh.
and you touch your T-zone, and then other people are touching you, and then they touch their T-zone, and then everybody just starts getting sick.
And everybody puts their T-zones together. Now kiss.
Yes, with our T-zones together combined, we summon Captain Immunity System. Hi, Magical Panda.
Red ranks scare you. They're scary the first time you get close to them. But then they're honestly not that bad. Yeah. On occasion we get like someone who's god tier. But at that point it's an honor to die to them.
I mean, it's also gonna be over quick, so there's that too.
Yeah, that one. Remember that one Huntress match? That one Huntress match that, lucky her, she got the cornfield also. And after the match, it was just all 4 of us survivors being like, "You're amazing. We love you."
Yes. Just worshipping at the feet of this Huntress.
You get red rank killers 99% of the time. That just means you'll get better at going against them. And then anytime you solo queue in your regular rank, you just destroy the killers there.
Okay, so who were you thinking was going to be the first man down?
I couldn't think of anybody. I was thinking more, like I said, my first thought was who would or wouldn't wear a mask. And I was like, canonically, Fung, Jeff, and Adam all wear masks. So I think they're safe. And I was like, Bill seems like the type to definitely not wear a mask. So he'll be like, I've been through worse. Always coughing everywhere. Out in the open. He's on, you know what? Bill's patient number 0. Bill's the one already infected out there hacking on everything.
Okay. Smoking is different from the plague.
He still coughs a lot, man.
I figured it was going to be Dwight.
Dwight was on my early to go list.
Dude's pale as fuck, and he's constantly putting his fingers, or at least his nails, in his mouth.
Oh god, gross.
So it's like, of all the people that are most likely to touch an infected surface and then get it to their mouth, it's gonna be our little Dweet.
So then, do we want to go through like all of our headcanon established relationships, and then just do Dwight as patient 0, and then we'll just go through the chain of who all gets infected from there?
That would work out. Let's get our field trip to the Temple of Purgation going. Dropping those bitches off. Dwight ain't got them red blood cells. Yeah, literally, like, he just gets off the bus and he's like car sick, so he just like goes up and like touches something immediately to lean on it, and then he's just like, oh, this is scary, and then just immediately puts his fingers in his mouth.
Oh god.
Did you have any thoughts on who the last survivor was going to be?
One of the 3 that I named who wear masks. But probably Adam.
I had Adam and Yunjin.
Oh, because she won't let anyone touch her.
Nobody's gonna touch her, and you just know she's got a bottle of hand sanitizer in there for when somebody actually does. Like, I feel like she's gonna be the one that's just like, don't touch me, washing hands. Like, she's clean.
I like that. So, Dwight gets sick immediately from touching shit.
Talkative Lemon, this is it's our DEADTalk. So this is where we put all the survivors against a killer, and we pretty much try and, like, horror movie rules, see who's gonna make it based on their lore. So unless previously stated otherwise, anybody that's in a movie or a TV show, we can't pull that lore in. It's just whatever the DVD people give us. So currently we are with the Plague, and everything takes place at the killer's map location. So it's killer home turf. Okay, if Dwight is getting it, then rip David, because we all know those fingers ain't the only thing Dwight puts in his mouth. Okay, so I'm reading Smut, and I swear this is related. The main character is very prone to magic,
Huh?
and the person she's with is not. So they're like, "Hey, it will help if you exchange fluids. So maybe we can."
I
Maybe we
love
could do.
I love the logic that comes out of smut. Just
Uh,
uh it's better than video game physics.
the funny thing is, like, my sister-in-law came over here. It turns out we're reading the same Smut.
Oh,
We're reading the same Smut mangas. We're reading the same Korean fiction. And
nice.
I was like, fuck, if you like that shit, come get this.
I love that. It's the most bonding you've ever done.
I know. She was like, oh my god, I should call my mom and tell her. And I'm like, yes, let's kill Pam.
So I think if we go with the widely accepted ship of David and Dwight, I would agree. David is easily one of the next. But
He might, I don't think he's gonna get sick and die right away.
I would like to propose Claudette
Really?
as because okay, so I think Claudette obviously she's very very smart. Um she's empathetic. She likes making sure that people are she's like the healer uh type. If Dwight got sick and nobody else was sick and it just seemed like a one-off he's car sick type of a deal, she'd probably be the one like come here, I'll take care of you, get sick herself.
I could
But
see
as
her like
long
dumping out her purse full of Tylenol and shit.
yeah, but as long as it happens early on, because I think if too many people get sick, she'll get smart and be like, you stay away from me.
Yeah.
But if it's early on, we can get her.
That's why I was like, Yunjin's the one, because people are gonna get sick, and she's just like, get the fuck away from me.
All the self-preservation coming in clutch.
That and she struggled with like being around people a lot, and if she spends that much time alone, I don't know about you, but if I stay at home all the time and then I go somewhere, like every time I leave the house, since I'm like a homebody, and we go on vacation and there's people around, I come back sick just like immediately. Like my immune system is
That's
a
fair.
dumpster fire. So it's like if she if she just came from her office and came
Oh.
and got on this bus full of people, she'd probably like be starting with a cold. That's funny because I'm Game Claudette doesn't give a shit about anyone but herself. But I love Claudette mains. Dino has an issue with them because of this one Claudette.
Yes.
She unhooked the Claudette who had
No.
borrowed time.
Claudette unhooked me
Okay.
without borrowed time and then
Okay.
dead-hearted to make sure she didn't get the protection hit either. In the basement so that I went back down immediately.
So yeah, Dino's got a special relationship with Claudettes.
So every other Claudette now has to prove me wrong and show me they are better than her.
She used to really like Claudettes. It was just like that one time.
I used
She
to
was
be a
stabbing
Claudette
her back.
main. I was a Claudette main.
I used to be a Meg main.
No, Coco, if you're gonna claw the shit out of my back, you don't have tree privileges. You have to suffer here. Yeah.
Okay, so Claudette dies next. So I imagine they probably like went on the bus and are like laying out across the seats or something. Just makeshift sick beds. That's why with me it's gens before friends. Yeah. I still remember the first couple of times Dino lectured me about not going and saving people. And I was like, do I have to? And she's like, it would be the right thing to do. And I'm like, but do I have to? I'll be really mad if you don't. But do I have to? Like standing there, like hand on the switch, ready to go. Okay, so we got two people in the makeshift sick beds and the bus, and they get sick and die like real quick. Okay. Who else has a crappy immune system and a likelihood to touch their face?
I think Jake probably has one of the best immune systems.
I feel like Cheryl and Quentin would be pretty easy targets
They
for this.
already look sickly.
That's why I was like, they're probably they're probably going down.
We can go ahead and toss them on.
I feel like people are like, oh, she's talking about the plague, and I'm just sitting here. Every time I laugh, I cry. So I'm just like, my entire T zone is just like hands.
I think definitely a lack of sleep can fuck up your immune system. So easily Quentin.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Cheryl just again, she just looks sickly. Ace
I feel like
has a great immune system. Yeah. That man has put his face in some ungodly areas. I can't even imagine. Immune system is off the charts. He would be in a study at some university hospital if anybody ever found out. Like,
yeah, Ace gives me the feeling that he's touched a lot of things that he shouldn't be touching.
Yeah. Man. that smile.
Likewise, I think Ash has probably got a pretty decent immune system.
Yeah. I mean, he's been covered in blood how many times, and he's fine.
Yeah. He's been covered in many a liquid.
Jill and Leon also.
To leave the body.
Jill and Leon also.
Yeah.
Not even just liquid, like bodily fluids, but like remains.
Yeah. Well, then they've dealt with an outbreak at this point, so it's like Bill, for all of his coughing, has dealt with an outbreak. That being said, also because of the coughing, when he does get it, I think he's going to go down since, it can affect the lungs.
Mm-hmm.
I think Meg would be okay because usually
she's pretty healthy.
Yeah, if you do a lot of running, like usually it kind of like stress tests your system right off the bat. Hey, Bean. So
she just has like an annoying small cough.
Yeah.
Same with Nia. So Nia, not in the same way Meg. I mean, they both have a history of running from the cops.
Nia's been huffing
but
since she was 5.
But Nia also like pretty active. She's running around everywhere. I mean, she has the perk balanced landing. The girls can sprint. So I think she'll be pretty good. I think likewise with the lack of sleep, Feng Min is at risk, but I think the fact that, again, mechanically, she has a cosmetic that she wears a mask, she might be okay.
Let's see. David's going down because Dwight, he's definitely got it because he's definitely sucked on that dipstick. So
Kate's just the dumb blonde.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily make her more or less susceptible.
Yeah.
It might make her more susceptible to like, hey, Kate, don't touch your T-zone. And she's just like,
what's a T-zone? And then someone else is like, it's right here. And they touch theirs. And they go down for it.
Yeah. I feel like Felix gives a very standoffish vibe and he looks very healthy. So I feel like he might not get touched by anybody. So, well, other than like Elodie. So she might like catch it and then
Felix.
But he like the way he does have a very come hither look, but the rest of his body is like, please stay over there. Just the way he stands.
What about Tap?
If Nancy gets sick, Steve's gonna get sick.
Oh, 100%. Same time, same place. Just. Also, how are we gonna bring Adiris into this?
I mean, I feel like as she hears people getting sick, she might just show up and be like, well, time to save the people again, and just start sacking people. It's for your own good. It's for your own good.
Hold on, what does the lore say that she says? Send them to your mouth, God. Whap!
I feel like he's getting older, so his immune system's kind of going downhill, and they
Oh,
have
I always forget he's old.
and he it is mentioned in his lore that he's having a hard time like keeping up with people physically now. So he's actually at risk due to age and a slow downturn of uh, his immune system due to age related issues. Um,
Poor chap.
so yeah,
Adam's fine. I think Jeff's gonna be fine for a while.
I also get the feeling that Jeff has a great immune system.
Yeah. Similar to Ace.
Like Jeff, like I know he's not going to be as bad as this guy I worked out with at Lowe's, but he refused to wash his hands because it made him. He said it made his immune system stronger. Because he's like, I just always have the bugs on me, so I'm just naturally just developing an immunity to it, and I'm just like, never touch me again.
Oh my god.
He was a cashier. Use your debit card, folks.
Oh god, I'm actually gonna gag. That's disgusting. Ugh.
Jane.
I think Jane kind of falls into the same category as Claudette.
She
Of
would take care of people, but she also doesn't have anything going for her, like in the positive realm of
right,
making it through.
right. Yui would try to fight Adiris.
Oh yeah, 100%.
She would lose because Adiris is even more badass. But
Well, Dearest has the fucking reach and the build. Like in
right,
that cutscene, like her shoulders are like they're ridiculous. Like
right,
she's all muscle.
right.
I was like, Jesus H Christ! Like she was way taller than Haban. Like she's like
I think
massive.
she's. I mean, she's definitely one of the tallest killers. I think Huntress might be taller than her, but she's. Oh, excuse me. She is up there in height.
It's like she's got the reach like 5 times over because she's already taller than everybody. So she's got the reach as far as arm length, and then she's also got the sensor that gives her even more reach. Like nobody's gonna get that close without like being able to go pew pew at her.
And then Zarina.
I think she might be okay. If nothing else, she's been out in crowds a lot more, so she might have a
Yeah,
little bit more of an immunity.
I could see her being that type of person who's just like absolutely fucking dying. They're so sick, but she's just like, I'll be fine. And like
Not
pushing
sick.
through it.
Vomiting everywhere.
Which one of these bitches do you think is going to be the one who cleanses?
I feel like Yunjin's gonna try and cleanse when she's not even sick. She's just going to everything and just washing her hands. Like that's why she makes it out fine. She's like, okay, this is fresh water. I see some hand sanitizer. We go, woo, we're out of here. Like Yunjin's not going near the bus. She's like lighted on fire. She's like trying to get cell phone reception. Every time somebody approaches her, the hand is up immediately. Like, get away from me. And if she sees plague coming, she's gonna just go ahead, turn right around and walk away. Like, there's no way.
No, no, way too smart for that. I'm glad you're enjoying this guide.
So I
I
feel like at this point, like, let's like get to the point where it's like, okay, most of these people are going to get sick. And since like Adiris's power kind of makes it so people get sick like way faster, obviously since Dwight and Claudette already did it, um, everybody's probably coughing and getting a little bit sick. So at this point, Adiris might be like in her temple and just like smells the sick out there. And she's like, it's time. My god's awoken me for this specific purpose.
and just comes through and just clobbers everyone straight over the head with her sensor.
Yeah, she just comes down and she's just like I could just see like her walking over and like I'm trying to think. I feel like Steve might do it. Like he's just sitting there like coughing and he just looks up and is like, "Oh my god." And she's like, "Blasphemer!"
I don't even know how to describe this method of death. Just a first down. Just.
In the words of Eddie Izzard, blasphemy, blasphemy you.
I had a thought about cleansing. I think if anybody, so the temple has a lot of like writing and shit around it. If you go and look around, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of little lore tidbits. I think if anybody here is smart enough to figure some of it out, it's Elodie.
Yeah, 100%.
So if Elodie, if there's any sort of clues around there that say if you're sick, cleanse at the fountains.
Yeah.
Elodie would be like, this is how we do it, and then Elodie would be the first one to cleanse because it would be the smart thing to do to get rid of the sickness, right? Not knowing the consequences yet.
There's our brand new player.
Yeah. The one who read the tooltip on the loading screen.
Cleanses right next to the gen that everybody's currently working on. Where all the people are currently healing each other. Like,
we love to see it.
So I think when they see him go down like that, that's when everybody kind of scatters, except for the ones that are not able to get away because they're already like that sick.
Or wouldn't leave.
Or
Nancy.
Leave. Yeah.
The Nancy Bill tap.
Yes. But I also don't think that she's just gonna like kill him there. Like she's gonna start dragging bodies into the temple.
Sacrifices.
Yeah, she's got a spot for them. There's little grates for the blood to go down.
Yeah. I love that little room. Treasure, everything.
So, she could probably lock them, like, sticks them all below, and then just start sacrificing them, clean, prep, sacrifice, clean, prep, sacrifice, and just pulling them one at a time out of the little prison. So that's gonna give everybody else a little bit of time because she does have the necessary prep and required chanting for a good sacrifice.
But while she's taking care of that, I mean, it seems too easy for them to be like, hop on the bus and get out of here.
Yeah.
I feel like they
the bus and it's been vomited on, and they're like, "Oh shit."
I feel like they just need to start degrading in health a lot to the point that like most of them start getting to like they can't leave. So who were our healthiest? They were Meg, Nia, Thung, Adam, Jeff, Ace, Jake.
Yunjin's not gonna
And Yunjin.
go near her. She's staying away, and that's like going to help her get where she needs to go. Just from refusing to touch anyone. She's that one survivor in the game where everybody's sick and on hooks, and she's like, "I'm not touching you. I'm not getting sick."
Oh man.
Yui, I feel like is gonna be tough to take down, and obviously Jill and Leon.
I mean, we could have the tougher ones to take down get knocked by the corrupt purge.
That's true. They can. So they're making like they're able to make more headway than the others, or at least like they're doing better. They're able to run farther away from her. And then Elodie's already gotten the info. So Elodie's probably going to be like running around, like telling everybody all this.
Being like you have to find a fountain and cleanse. Felix will probably be the first one she tells.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Yunjin's going to have her own fountain as far away from possible. And she's just like guarding it with a sharpened nail file.
How many fountains does Plague get? Do you remember? Is it 6 or 7?
I want to say 6, but I'm not positive.
feel like 7. That one time we spent a whole hour just cycling through. I feel like it was 7.
So that's gonna get like real complicated because if she doesn't drink from her sippy cup, then they're all full and then she automatically gets it. So that just opens up one.
But they'll never actually all be full because Yunjin will always be guarding one
Yes.
that no one can cleanse at. So if we say it's 7, Yunjin's guarding 1. We have the other 6. We can have 6 people cleanse, which means we're gonna get 6 rounds of because I'm sure smart people will learn if she drinks from the fountains you cleansed from, you die quicker. That people aren't going to keep cleansing from it. I would like to create people in this universe who are smarter than your average player, and we can just say she has 6 rounds of being able to take out either the ones who aren't as immunocompromised or who do put up more of a fight, like the Ashes, the Yuis,
Yeah.
the Jills and Leons. Hi, Fern Dog.
As I think that like Jill and Leon are straight up probably going to try and shoot her at some point.
Oh God, she's already dead.
She's so decayed. It's like she's just like, really? That's the best you got.
She's like the smartest zombie they've ever seen.
I am literally rotting away right now.
Okay, so back to the document. She's down there making sacrifices out of Steve, Nancy, Bill, and Tap. Elodie's figured out how to cleanse. Mm-hmm. So Elodie, Felix, and oops, hold on. I'm just gonna note this down. Elodie, Felix, who are 4 others who are probably going to cleanse.
To like actually get out my survivor list here.
I think Zarina and Yui could both be like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We can suffer through it.
I think Jane might give her dose up for someone else.
Yeah. If we want to say Cheryl and Quentin, because they're looking the sickest.
What is the likelihood that the older folks will like take care of the younger kids? Like Lori.
Which older folks, though?
I guess they are kind of young now. Adam would forego his. I think Jane would forego hers.
Yeah.
Ace probably is like sneaking towards it right now. And like, oops, I tripped into it.
So Ace would selfishly go and get his own cleanse on.
It was an accident.
Sure.
I was gonna say, realistically, I would have the people with the guns cleanse because I feel like they'd be more likely to protect us from the giant lady that just bashed a man's head in with a sensor.
But I don't know if it's so much about protection versus... I'm thinking of it like, who's most likely to just die of being too sick?
Yeah,
that they'd want to get cleansed.
Quentin and Cheryl.
All right, we have one more slot if you would like to toss a cop in here.
Isn't that Yunjin holding her cleanse?
She is the 7th.
Okay. Let's see. Dwight's dead. Meg's gonna be fine. Claudette's gone. Jake's fine. He is fine. I don't know how Lori would. I feel like she'd be fine because she babysits. Kids are
kids are disgusting. She's been through worse.
What about David? Because he was exposed to Dwight, so he would be the sickest for the longest period of time.
True. That's a good choice.
Also, if you're emotionally distraught from losing your partner, you might look a little sicker than you actually are.
That's fair. So, Elodie, Felix, Ace, Quentin, Cheryl, David, and Yunjin's guarding the 7th.
Yes.
So Plague has the potential at any point to power up at our choosing
Yeah.
to just take out everyone. Love it. All right.
I love Adiris.
I do too. She's great. What a great killer. One of the best they've come up with.
Absolutely.
Just full design, power, all of it. She's great.
Her backstory.
This is just a anybody who's new here, you have entered the realm of the dual Adiris fan club.
Yeah.
Either stream you're on, whichever YouTube you're watching this from. If you don't like Plague, I won't say you're not welcome here, but you're probably not gonna have a good time.
I was gonna say if Uno doesn't want you, I'll take you. Bubba Mates maybe a little grudgingly. But...
Just if we stay out of the basement, it's fine.
I'm here for you guys.
I'll say if you don't like Plague, then we don't want you here, Loki. I've never met someone who didn't like Plague. I will say the exception is if her power like physically affects you.
Yeah.
I accept that as a reason to not like Plague. Because I do understand.
Yeah, I have I think I was like on Reddit looking at people's favorite killers, and like there are a lot of people that are like, I can't deal with it. I just have to DC.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't think about these things.
Highly dislike playing against her and her vomit. The vomit is gross. So
it'd be nice if you could just like mod the sound so that every time she like inhales, instead of the vomit sound, it's just like
sparkles. That too. All right.
Or fart noise or belch, something like that.
So they're trying to get everyone taken care of, getting people cleansed. Plague comes back up from her sacrifices.
Just covered in blood.
Oh god. Easiest targets for her to pick off. Lori. Excuse me.
Can we just take a second and say that she killed Steve for the blaspheming, but Plague, the actual person, did try to save people. So I think it's entirely possible that having like done the sacrifice, that she's gonna come up and like preach to them like, I'm doing my best to save you, and like trying to like get them on board.
But nobody understands her.
No fucking idea what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So that's gonna like start a fight.
Oh man.
Like David just cleansed and he's like, I'm ready.
Hi, artist. Welcome. I hope you're feeling better.
Hi guys, sorry I'm late. Oh, I just saw it, artist. Jesus. The plague has already gotten to you.
It's only fitting.
Yeah.
So all David knows, not many thoughts behind those eyes. But two thoughts are, you got my boyfriend sick, and you kidnapped some of my friends. So he goes to try to fight her, and she's gonna just knock him out real fast.
That's our first sippy cup, I feel like. He comes to knock her out, and she just like pushes him down, walks over to the sippy cup, and takes a drink. He comes for her, like comes behind, and she just whips around, grabs him by the throat, lifts him up, and just blood vomits right in his face.
I love it.
And then drops his carcass on the ground. They're just like, what the fuck?
So now, any other blasphemers or anybody else who she would see as a threat to her trying to help the others?
Let's see. Who's gonna say, oh my god? Or Jesus Christ? I feel like Ash is just gonna be a strain of obscenities. Like, it's not necessarily, oh my gosh, she's like, fuck, what?
Dude, Ash would try to fuck her. Let's be real.
Yeah, she just vomits all over his face. He's just like, yeah, baby.
Lori,
As his chainsaw gets longer.
I think Lori would do that classic scream that she does.
Yeah.
Easily. As soon as she just sees David just get destroyed in seconds. Lori's just like,
Yeah.
um,
See Ace just straight up shit in his pants.
nah. He's been around more bodily fluids than this. Man.
So most of them are gonna peace out. Like I think Yui at that point's like, well, fighting is not an option. Uh
I love that we had like half these people be like, yeah, they can take on Oni, but now they're against Plague. We're like, none of them stand a chance.
like, I think I know how this is gonna end. Like I had a dream last night
Oh.
of how this ends.
Oh.
So
Okay. So who dies after David? She's still gonna be powered up.
I could see Meg going Valley Girl, oh my god. I
Okay.
feel like Nia and Jake are just gonna quietly walk away. Just like, okay, let's not say we did. Lori is actively screaming. Ace is gonna sneak out. Fung's gonna take off running. Like, Meg might take off running too, but I feel like that's gonna be our first long distance snipe.
Ooh, I like that.
Quentin's I feel like Quentin might peace out. Or at least grab somebody and like feel like we need to go. Just grab Cheryl. It's time. We got to go.
You think she would? God, I don't know. So Cheryl, okay, Cheryl comes from like the whole cult background, right?
Yeah.
With like her own gods and sacrifices, and
Would she try and make peace?
I don't know. I feel like we could do something there though.
Like the two of them just make eye contact briefly.
They have some weird psychic connection.
She doesn't vomit on her, but like they're just like, I see you.
Cheryl's the future Plague.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I've
Gwen's gonna grab Cheryl and take off. I could see Kate trying to smash her guitar over Plague's back, like to get her to drop David.
okay. I'm good with that. I like that.
Like she's like in the middle of vomiting with one hand in his face. Kate smashes the guitar. She just backhands her with a censer, and she just lights on fire because all the hairspray.
And then Plague just turns around, just vomits on her, slices her to pieces with it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's like just every once in a while the camera just cuts to Yunjin, who's just like hanging out by her little cleansing station.
She found the one fountain that's just like off in the middle of fucking nowhere corner of the map.
She's fine.
She's got a cute little shack next to her, and she's like, it's not the best, but I can make do.
Yeah. Yeah, she's unloaded all of her stuff. She's very comfortable. She's already dropped Shack pallet to block.
I was about to say, it's actually in Shack, and she's dropped the pallet so no one else can get inside.
Oh, Yunjin, I love you so much.
She's the best character. If everybody's running, I hate to say this, I think many of these characters can outrun Jane.
Yeah.
She's
I feel like this is probably a good time for Leon and Jill to take their shots. and realize that Plague gives no fucks about bullets.
Ooh. You had a dream about Huntress last night? Do share, artist.
Ooh.
Leon and Jill take shots. Does she just outright knock them down with corrupt?
I could see that. Like, I could see like that might buy Jane some time because they just shoot at her and she just like slowly drops the people she was working on and just like rotates.
Just
yeah, just it's the sprinkler effect. She just breathes in and just sprinklers.
Oh god, yes. So we just kill them both right there.
Yeah. I just want to see, like, I feel like Ash could just pick up Ace and just sling him over his shoulder.
Oh.
Running. And Ash is just like, Ash senpai.
Oni-chan.
What is that big chainsaw for?
Do we ship it? Cause do you? Because I was honestly not gonna lie. The ship that I have in my head, the cursed ship, I will say, is Ace and Yunjin.
No.
Yes.
Yunjin would not let him touch
Normally she wouldn't, but he finds a way to charm her.
He would have to be boiled in a vat of sanitizer.
And he would
before he could even getting sniffing distance.
And he would for her. Leave now, Dino. How could you suggest that? Because it's cursed, and I like cursed ships. Artist, I don't know, she was putting this coin in the machine that was like a domino chan effect. And I was like trying to stop it for some reason. No, Huntress, not another coin. Let's see.
So yeah, that might buy Jane a little bit of time because, Plague took the time. And she might start dragging bodies back for another sacrifice.
Yeah. And I think what is that? 5 people getting knocked down with corrupt purge. I think that's a good chunk there. So
dream for every Plague main is to hit more than one person. Corrupt purge.
Right. So on the map, who's still alive and sick, whether or not they've left, is Jake, Nia, Lori, Ace, Fung.
If Ash picked him up, he's sick now.
Oh yeah, Ace cleansed, but yeah, if Ash just like grabbed him and yeah. So on the map and sick, Jake, Nia, Lori, Ace, Fung, Adam, Jeff, Jane, Ash, Yui, Zarina. That's it.
Cheryl cleansed with
Yeah, Cheryl, Felix, Elodie, Quentin, Yunjin are all cleansed. Mm-hmm. Dwight was our first dead.
Yeah. And can we just say that if you're dying from this kind of sickness where you're puking, I'm pretty sure almost every death is an embarrassing bathroom death.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you all, but if I vomit, I shit everywhere.
We should just title this on YouTube as the ultimate embarrassing bathroom death.
And you shit your pants. And you shit your pants.
What is it called when you do both at the same time? The double dragon?
I didn't know that.
But
it kind of makes me feel better about myself now. Thank you for the toilet death, Lukey.
Lukey's just like, that twink went first. So of these, I think the easiest one to catch is Lori.
Yeah, she just hasn't stopped screaming. She just gets like
every time someone gets down, she's just like
She's literally still screaming. Plague vomits in her mouth and she chokes. We're done here. Because I don't know about you, but if I get somebody on a hook, I usually end up vomiting off them.
Yes, while they're screaming. It
So
makes sense. I get it
that
now.
tracks.
Yeah. As a fellow plague mate, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's just what we do.
So I think both Jeff and Jane aren't going to get very far. I think
Yeah.
that they're the slowest of the bunch that we have.
Yeah. He's like, Jeff is just not used to exercise.
Outside of a mosh pit, like.
Yeah. And Jane is not dressed for this either.
Not at all.
Like, I can run a mile. So I'm sure like some people can run a mile even if they're a little bit overweight. Exhibit A.
Yeah.
So I think like she could go a little bit, but
I think
Jeff would be first.
yeah, as I say, Jeff would be first, then Jane.
Yeah.
Now, does she catch them to make a sacrifice? Like, what are we gonna do here?
I can just see Jeff like running and the combined effect of constantly being drunk and also overexerting himself in exercise, he literally stops to throw up and she just yoinks him.
So, Jeff. Does she take him back for the sacrifice?
Oh yeah, she caught a live one. That's like the best kind. He gets the leather straps and everything.
Oh God, I forgot about that part. Don't tell Ace. Ace will actually be like, wait, hold on.
I
There's
know.
bondage.
Ash and Ace would literally turn around and come back.
Jeff's just at the bottom of the temple screaming about, no, don't tie me up. Ash just like happens to hear it and he's like, tie up who? Artist forgot to write the story about Susie and Cheryl. You have time? Do it when you feel inspired, so it's good. Okay, so she sacrifices Jeff, she comes back up.
I feel like she would be able to catch Jane.
Yeah. Jane just got lost and accidentally ran in a circle and just comes back around the temple as Plague emerges.
Yep. So people are probably hearing the screams coming from the temple, and will probably be like, "Let's not
go anywhere near that."
Yeah. With the possibly Elodie might go closer to try and find like a hint that might give her the key to putting down the plague.
Ooh, yes.
Which would bring me to how I think this would be resolved.
Okay.
So I was thinking when they have the conversation, like when all of them finally meet up together and they're like
outside of Shack, because it seems like the safest spot because Yunjin's there, but she also won't let them inside.
Yeah, they're like, hey, look, there's a building over there. Let's go take cover. And they're like, yeah. And then Yunjin's like, get the fuck out. She's sitting in there with Mace. So they're all sitting huddled outside of the shack with their 6 feet of distance because Yunjin's just like, stay over there. And they're like, okay, we need to defeat the plague. So I need to go back into the building and find out what we need to defeat her. And then, like, Ace or Ash just sarcastically is like, penicillin? At which point we're going to get a penicillin launcher and we're going to cure the plague and then we're going to kill her.
A penicillin launcher.
You can't spell mace without A. Which I think at that point, Claudette would be the one because she dumped out all of the medicine bottles. So we're gonna have like a hybrid, like, okay, so this cleanses the sickness. She's sick. Let's get some penicillin and get some of that cleansing water. Let's do this. Ace is like pulling like new attachments out of his back pocket. Like, let me see what we got here.
You mean Ash?
Yeah.
I like that.
And Yunjin's just like, you can take water from a different fountain. Which is how we have more people die.
Which there is one available fountain with water in it. It's just close to the temple.
And where Claudette is with her bag of goodies.
So somebody's got to go back.
Somebody has to go back and get the bottle of water and the penicillin.
I think Adam would do it, but I think someone needs to go with him to be the one that dies along the way. There's always that one.
Yeah.
Zarina.
I was gonna say, he's also not super in shape either. He needs a runner.
Zarina?
Yeah, I could see Zarina doing it.
I mean, Yui's obviously the most in shape of everybody that we have left.
Yeah.
But I could see Adam and Zarina being the most likely to volunteer of, I'll be the one to go back.
Yui's gonna defend everybody.
Yui's on guard in case Plague finds them all there.
Yeah. She's gonna fight them all.
Yeah.
Be there for everybody. Jake is like, I love how Jake and Nia are just like coasting at this point.
I know.
Or like everybody else is coughing and throwing up everywhere, and like Nia's just like,
they're also coughing and throwing up, but they're just like,
this is nothing compared to the 20 cans of spray paint I inhaled yesterday spray painting my local courthouse.
All right. So Adam and Zarina go to collect Claudette's medicines and some clean water from the fountain that Plague drank from when she killed David. Mm-hmm. Plague is sacrificing Jane as we speak. She's going to finish it up, and she's going to come and manage to get Zarina.
Guys, I'm sad to say that I am not going to be running BT anymore. I am sorry. I've turned into my worst enemy, Dino. Wait, Dion? Dino? Dion?
Dion. Dion's my alter ego.
Okay, that makes sense. Dion's the one that rides the roller coasters with us.
Yes. We haven't seen Dion in a long time.
I miss Dion.
No.
So I don't know about you, but usually when I'm Plague, I keep track of where my my sippy cups are located.
Oh yeah.
So that when somebody cleanses, I'm like, oh, the little shit's over there.
Oh yes, 100%.
So I could easily see like they're gathering the stuff, they meet up together, and Plague just walks out because her sippy cup senses are tingling. At which point it becomes we need to get this stuff back.
Okay. Donnie is in Dino's basement, and so is Dion. I don't have a basement. I live in an apartment. So her sippy cup senses start tingling as they're getting some of the water. She emerges and just vomits straight on Zarina.
Zarina sees the vomit coming and like tosses the bottle of water to Adam, and he grabs it and starts running. So he's got both of them. Like Zarina knows this is over.
And then it's like that type of a scene where it only focuses on Adam and like his reaction to her just getting destroyed. as he's
Yes.
like running away, keeps looking back, but you never actually see how she's dying.
You just hear the sound of her powering up as he's running.
Ooh, some more corrupt purge to come.
Yeah.
I like it.
For the final showdown.
You have a secret bookcase basement. Stop telling everybody about the secret bookcase basement. We just built that last year. My gosh, let us have at least a decade of secrets.
Okay, so Adam's hauling ass. Zarina gets left behind and probably gets dragged back for the sacrifice. So now they're like, okay, we have to now make ammunition.
They're like, oh shit, we should have gotten it off of Jill and Leon while we were there.
They're like, okay, well, we can't make bullets with this. Does anybody have a syringe or something? And Ace is just like, maybe.
You know what? I like the idea of Ace just having weird shit in his pocket.
Yeah, he's prepared for everything.
Right. And they're like,
know when he needs to make a bet about.
They want to know why he has a syringe, and he's just like, I'm diabetic. Don't ask questions.
Yeah, it's just completely deadpan staring in his face. I'm diabetic. As he gives them the empty syringe.
So if Plague powers up, everybody's all in one location. They're kind of fucked.
Yes.
We've got Elodie working on the vaccination. I mean, we could clear out Jake and Nia pretty easily. If they're kind of like off on their own as Plague's making her way over toward the shack, sees them and just a quick snipe on the way by.
I mean, honestly, I'm always like expecting Nia to like have a can of spray paint on her and be willing to set somebody on fire. So I'm totally fine with Jake getting mowed down. But I'm also like,
You're also biased.
I am very biased, but
I kill Nancy early on in every episode.
I let her die so often. She's only had like one really good like in the sun moment with the trapper.
I kill my main every episode.
I mean, it's Nancy. What has she got going for her? Other than Steve. It's like a 50-50 shot of getting her killed.
Her investigative nature. She's our backup Elodie. If Elodie ever dies first, we rely on Nia. Or Nancy, I mean.
I will get you taken care of as soon as the stream's over. I'm just a boomer and I don't know how to do that stuff without looking it up.
How to do what?
Artist wants to be a VIP.
Okay. I can show you how to do that after the stream.
Okay. So...
Come on, just Nia and Jake at the same time. Let Plague have that glory moment of 2 hits on 1 purge.
Okay. I'm happy about it though.
Sacrifice 1 main for the happiness of the other. Also,
she's already dead.
Also, I just want to type the sentence drive-by snipe 2 times. You know, how are you? I'm good. How are you, artist?
Okay, so that brings us down to having Ace, Fung, Quentin, Adam, Ash, Yui, Felix, and Elodie.
And Cheryl. Wait.
And Cheryl.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that Cheryl's there.
And
I think
Yunjin.
yes, Yunjin is N. How are you? I'm good, artist. um, so I think that Cheryl should be the one that actually gets her with the syringe because she kind of has a kindred spirit thing going on. Everybody else is just like poised to do something other than like Yunjin, who has now built curtains. So she doesn't have to even see it. Like she's got like headphones on, can't hear the vomiting.
She's taken her fur coat off and draped it across the window.
Yeah. She's like, I don't want it to touch me. I don't want to hear it. I'm just gonna stay in here with my mace. But yeah, I feel like they could give Cheryl the syringe
Mm-hmm.
because they shared a moment. So Cheryl can be the one to go up and like get her and inject her with the penicillin and the cleansing water. At which
Oh,
point
God.
it becomes a free for all as they try and kill her as she gets cured.
So she has a limited amount of time.
Alternatively, Cheryl stabs her with the syringe, she recovers, and Cheryl has become God. Because she cured the plague.
I don't hate that. That's kind of hilarious.
I mean, if we're talking about, if she prayed for the gods to fix the plague, and then somebody just comes along and goes, boop, because you usually start feeling better pretty damn quick.
You know what? I don't hate that. Let's have her take out a couple more people first.
Okay.
Who
How
do
about she's like approaching the shack, the slow motion walk. Cheryl's slow motion walking towards her as the others are trying to distract her long enough for this to go. So everything's like flying around as they don't lose eye contact. So she's just like hitting people with a sensor as she's going, just knocking them to the side.
um so we can take out Ace that way?
I say Ash is gonna you know, just like it's a very peaceful moment other than the sounds of the chainsaw going in the background. Very sentimental music as they're closing in on each other.
So clobbered by the sensor.
Mm-hmm.
So Ash, we can get Ace because he'll be right next to him. So it'll just be like a
Or
one and then back.
no! Or he's like Ash runs in and Ace is like behind him, like he's gonna help, and as soon as he sees Ace get clobbered, he like turns to run and she just nails him.
And it's just slow motion, like ah.
Just like, oh fuck.
Cat girl, thank you so much for the follow. Um, I think everybody else is pretty much smart enough to keep distance.
Yui might try, but I feel like Yui might be able to like duck and weave.
What about the corrupt purge?
Ooh. Felix is a big target. I think he's gonna get hit by corrupt.
So we could take out Felix.
Like, I think Fung's still alive, right?
Yeah.
Fung.
Quentin's also about the same size as Felix.
He is, but he's also hopped up on caffeine, and he's actually like
He's the corrupt vomit just starts flowing. He's like, ah.
Like he is so jittery. It's like Jeff's perk. He's just like he's flickering back and forth. Like she can't even aim properly because she's like. Yeah, I feel like Fung and Yui would probably be able to dive under the corrupt, and I think Quentin is just so like he's so jumpy to start with. He might be harder to hit.
Okay.
Because I mean, let's face it, he just got cured with a cleanse. He probably feels better than he has in a long time, and that caffeine's hitting his system.
We are talking about plague, cutie. Hi.
Like it's just pure fucking adrenaline.
Okay. Adam, I would like to keep alive, but does he actually stand a chance?
She might. What if she vomits on his jacket and he gets rid of it? Because he's like,
But
he's only.
it's the corrupt, so it actually like cuts through you.
Or if he uses it as a shield, like he like throws it up and ducks behind it, like how you scare your pets by running up and putting up a sheet and then moving, and they're like, "Oh my god, you're gone!"
Plague bamboozled again.
Just ducks behind the shack. Yunjin's like, "Hey, get out from behind my shack!"
Diversion. Okay. So Fong, Quentin, Yui,
Melody, he's
Adam.
probably like trying to sponge off Felix, like he's just like screaming, and she's just trying to wash him off. But depending on if we want to take down somebody else, then Cheryl and the plague finally reach each other, and Cheryl being as short as she is and plague being as tall, she just stabs her in the thigh.
I'm gonna. Oh gosh, I don't want to kill Elodie either. Up, she would have been so close to Felix. They would have been standing right next to each other. If Felix got hit, Elodie's getting hit. What are we discussing? We have placed all of the survivors in the world with the plague, as if it were following horror movie tropes, and killing all of them. Creatively. We did kill Jane. So the corrupt purge, she got Felix and Elodie. Everyone else was okay. Cheryl has the penicillin shot.
Stabs her in the thigh. And of course, Plague's like, Ria! But is like slowly becoming cured of the plague and just like looks at Cheryl like, this is my real god. She just like unfriended the entity on Facebook. Like, it's happening.
Is that the end?
Now the question is, like, she gets cured of the plague, but does she like actually like revert to a human form, or does the plague die because she is so far decomposed?
I think she would die because she's so far decomposed.
But at least she had a decent god in the end, you know? I feel like Cheryl would be a very benevolent god.
I think so too.
All hail the cult of Cheryl.
Oh, Serena's already dead.
So you have Cheryl and Adam.
Fong, Quentin, Yui, and Yunjin is who I have.
Yes.
Perfect. Yes, Kate died pretty early on. All right, let's go through the rundown. So we throw all the survivors on a bus and send them off to the Temple of Purgation. When they get off, Dwight is feeling car sick and just not great. He's really queasy. He feels like he's gonna throw up. He goes, mistakenly touches the temple as he's trying to just, brace himself from a dizzy spell. And as we've all seen Dwight in Q, he puts his hand in his mouth. And that is the first instance. Patient number 0. Infection begins. Because he's not feeling great, Claudia's just like, come here. I'll get you taken care of. I got some medicine. She dumps out her purse. All the Tylenol, ibuprofen, everything you can imagine is in there. Don't ask too many questions.
It's like my mom. She just hoards like leftover medicine because she doesn't finish her doses.
Right.
In the fucking bathroom closet.
But she's taking care of Dwight. In the process, she didn't realize that he's actually infected with the plague, and she starts to get sick too. They succumb to it pretty quickly, and get sent off to the bus to die. Essentially, they just stay on there. Because of everybody they're around, people start getting sick pretty fast. It was just about everybody except for Yunjin, who will avoid everybody, not let anyone touch her. She has her hand sanitizer. People are coughing and hacking and just being like, I don't feel so great. And she's like, you stay the fuck over there. So she doesn't get sick. I think we had Adam, Fung, and Jeff not getting sick because they wear masks, mechanically. Yeah. They have cosmetics. She's a germaphobe. She is. But everyone else is starting to feel sick. And the sounds of people being ill cause the plague to emerge from whatever resting zombie ground she was sleeping in this entire time. And so this tall, covered in abscesses, but still somehow beautiful woman emerges from the temple. And Steve goes, oh...
It does sound like the back of a movie thing. Like, you know how they're like, this highly successful businessman is going on an adventure with a surprisingly sexy... Like, that's always the description. It's like, the women in there are always sexy. And it's always
true.
Surprising. Sneaks up on you.
It's true. But the sight of her has Steve go, oh my god! To which that blasphemy will not be tolerated here on the sea goat god's grounds of the Temple of Purgation. And she takes her censer, knocks him the fuck down. She has found her first sacrifice. Nancy is not leaving Steve, so she is a casualty of war who will also be clobbered and taken down. Everybody else is going, what the fuck? And they all run and scatter. Unfortunately, Bill and Tap, who have also been getting pretty sick, both are older, out of shape, not too well. They are too sick, and they gotta run. So, excuse me, or they can't run, so she gets them as well. So now she has 4 sacrifices to take care of. So she's going to be a little bit busy. This buys our other survivors time to, kind of like get together, figure out what's happening. What do they do? Are their friends going to be okay? Probably not. And Elodie kind of pieces stuff together with the fountains that are around. And she realizes if you cleanse at the fountains, you aren't sick. So she, of course, takes care of herself first, and then her friend Felix. They go to tell Quentin and Cheryl and David, who's been sickest the longest because he was also hanging around Dwight when he first got infected, that they all need to cleanse. Ace overhears this and is just like, yeah, I'm gonna cleanse too. So Ace goes and cleanses.
Fell.
Oh yeah, no. He just mistakenly fell into the fountain. It was a complete error. And I guess this would be where they learned that only one person can cleanse per fountain. Yunjin found a fountain off in the corner of the map near a nice little shack. And she's just standing guard. There's this really well-placed wooden pallet in the doorway that she dropped to make sure that nobody else could get in there with her. And she's just gonna camp the fountain for the rest of the movie. It is hers. She's not sick or anything. But she knows that hand washing is very important to avoid getting sick. So, like, anybody comes near, hand sanitizer, hand washing in the fountain, you guys stay the fuck away.
She has mace. She's amazing people to come near.
Yes. Okay. So they're getting everyone taken care of. And Plague comes back. I won't hesitate, bitch! I love that vibe. Plague emerges back from the sacrificial table under the temple. David sees her. He's, even though he just cleansed, he's got a couple of thoughts in his head. One, you got my boyfriend sick. Two, I don't remember his other thought, and honestly, he probably doesn't either. Do you have a bird? I do not. And so he goes to fight her. She drinks from one of her fountains, powers up, and just, like her Mori, whacks them, picks them up, vomits straight in their face. David dies to the most beautiful Mori. Kate tries to defend David. When Plague is picking her up, Kate grabs her guitar, tries to hit her over the back with it to knock her down. But as we all know, Plague is built like a monster truck, and that is not enough. So as she's vomiting on David, she just reaches back and goes, "Wah!" and knocks Kate. Kate gets taken down. Anybody who's nearby is trying to run as fast as they can, so Meg takes off in a sprint, gets sniped. Jill and Leon see this as their chance to try to get a couple shots in, maybe take her out that way. And it does not faze Plague at all to get shot. She's pretty much dead already, to be fair. She's rotting. So she uses the opportunity to just corrupt purge both of them and take them both down. This entire time, every time somebody gets knocked down by Plague, you have Lori, who is doing her classic Halloween scream of just every single time. The corrupt purge ends, and Lori's still screaming. So Plague just and vomits straight in her face. She chokes. I'm not going to go into further detail, or I will make myself sick. Use your imagination. While everyone's running away, Jeff, unfortunately, he's a little bit out of shape. He's still sick, not doing too great. He stops to throw up, and Plague catches him, takes him down as a sacrifice. Jane's also running away, but she gets a little lost. So while Plague is down at the bottom of the temple sacrificing Jeff, she finishes the job, she comes back up, and Jane just happens to be circling around at the wrong time. Their paths cross. She gets nabbed. Jane is the next one to be sacrificed. Now, the remaining survivors have all collected outside of the shack. It's very important to note outside of the shack because Yunjin will not let them inside. She has now sacrificed her very expensive designer fur bolero and strung it up across the window because somebody was trying to sneak in it or something, probably. Or she just doesn't want to look at them. She doesn't want to see them. They're disgusting. They're sick. She's not going to let them inside. Yeah, you said she had her headphones in. She doesn't want to hear them throwing up or anything. Like, just stay away. Let her have her safe space in the shack. So they're outside of the shack. Jake and Nia have kind of just like fucked off on their own. They're off in a bush throwing up, sharing stories of their rebel days.
Serena.
No, I haven't killed them yet. I'm just describing the scene.
Okay.
So the group at the shack come up with this plan to try to create basically a penicillin shot to take down the plague. And Elodie, being the smartest remaining one here, thinks, we can use some of the water from the fountain. It obviously gets rid of the plague. We can use some medicines of Claudette's to just create like the ultimate shot so they wouldn't have a vaccine. Ace is like, yeah, I have a vaccine. Everybody's like, or not a vaccine, a syringe. And they're like, why do you have a syringe? And he's just like, I have diabetes. No further questions. Hands it over. And they stick to that, no further questions. So then they're like, okay, so who's going to be the one to get the water? And they're like, oh, there's a fountain in the shack. And Yunjin's like, fuck, no, there's not. So the only other one that they know about is the fountain that was cleansed out of the temple when she powered up and killed David. So like, okay, we have to go back to the temple. That's also where Claudette's purse is with all of her medicines that she used. Who's gonna go? Adam and Zarina both volunteer to be the ones to make the run for it. So they head back toward the temple, and as Zarina is collecting water into a bottle from the fountain, Plague emerges from sacrificing Jane and sees Zarina, immediately throws up on her. Zarina throws the water bottle at Adam. He catches it perfectly. The camera shot is on his hand, just perfect. And Zarina just yells at him, "Run!" So Adam grabs Claudette's purse, takes off. He's looking behind him. You never see the camera actually go back to Zarina. You just hear the vomit, the gagging, the look of horror on Adam's face, the regret that Zarina was the one left behind and not him. Because you know he would feel bad. But he goes back, he has everything. And the group starts concocting the shot. And then we enter. Plague drinks from the fountain. She is keeping tabs. There's another clean fountain off in the shack. So she goes over there to check to see to go find all the other survivors. As she's on her way, it's all just slow motion shots, a montage of them making the vaccine. Plague marching. She sees Nia and Jake just immersed in the map. Snipes them both on her way by. And they get the shot and they decide, earlier Cheryl and Plague had this moment where they just made eye contact, but Plague didn't attack Cheryl. So they're like, there's something here. You might be able to get in close enough to give this a shot. So they give Cheryl the syringe. And it's just back and forth shots of Cheryl and Plague getting closer together outside of the shack. Ash revving up his chainsaw. Ace standing next to him. They're both very close. They're ready if anything goes down, they're going to take out Plague, but she just knocks them both down. First, Ash, with her sensor, just whacks him, and then Ace goes, "Oh, fuck!" But then she hits him with the backhand straight across the head. They go down immediately. Plague knows that she's about to put up a fight, so immediately releases her corrupt purge, hits both Felix and Elodie, takes them down, but while she's purging, Cheryl comes in, hits her in the thigh with the penicillin shot, and then it's just, the cure is pulsing through Plague's body, and she realizes Cheryl was the sea goat god all along. Cheryl is the entity. Cheryl is the true god. The one who could get rid of the plague. After all of these centuries that she's been trying to help her people, this is what it came to. Unfortunately, Plague has been sick for so long, her body has decayed so much, that she ends up just dying, falling to the ground, a corpse of whatever remains that wasn't infection. And they live happily ever after.